Here's Shakespeare. To the reader, this figure that thou hearest put is for gentle Shakespeare cut, where the graver had to strive with nature to outdo the life. Oh, could he but have drawn his wit as well in brass as he hath hit his face to print would that surpass all but the writ the brass. But since he cannot read or look, not in his picture but his book, Ben Jonson. Here's Shakespeare. Yeah, I can read it, but I was told you're into black people now. That's great. Here, I can read it. Here, the first part of King Henry VI, the second part of King Henry VI, the third part of King Henry VI, King Richard III, Titus Andronicus, The Comedy of Errors, The Two Gentlemen of Verona, Love, Labour's Lost, Romeo and Juliet, Midsummer's Night Dream, King John, The Taming of the Shrew, King Richard II, The Merchant of Venus, the first part of King Henry IV, the second part of King Henry IV, King Henry V, Much Ado About Nothing, The Merry Wives of Windsor, Julius Caesar, As You Like It, Twelfth Night or What You Will, Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, Troilus and Cressida, That's All Well That End Well, Measure for Measure, Othello, The Moor of Venice, Macbeth, King Lear, Antony and Cleopatra, Coriolanus, Timon of Athens, Pericles, Cymbeline, The Winter's Tale, In Tempest, King Henry VIII, Venus and Adonis, Lucrece, Sonnets, The Lover's Complaint, The Passionate Pilgrim, Sonnets to Sundry Notes of Music, The Phoenix and Turtle. In this volume, the plays are arranged in the chronological order of their compositions. Naturally, no claim to finality is made in the subject as best with difficulties, but the sequence may be taken as fairly representing general results of decent research. The time-honored division in comedies, histories, and tragedies dating from the first folio, since universally followed, has been abandoned, and the belief that there were room and need for addition that should enable the readers to approach the body of plays, not as a static monument of achievement, but as a vital and growing organism revealing the evolution of the poet's personality and genius. Yeah, I can read it, but you're attacking a cop saying I was not allowed to read your Shakespeare. Yeah, I can read it, but just to attack me saying you want me to be gay and stuff. The most noble and incomparable pair of brethren, William, Earl of Pembroke, Lord Chamberlain to the King's most excellent Majesty, and Philip, Earl of Montgomery, Gentleman of His Majesty's Bedchamber, both knights of the most noble order of the Garter, and our singular good lords. Right honourable, whilst we study to be thankful in our particular for the many favours we have received from you, LL, we are fallen upon ill fortune to mingle two the most adverse things that can be. Fear and rashness, rashness in the enterprise, fear of a success. For when we value the places your H.H. esteem, we cannot but know their dignity greater than to descend to the reading of these trifles. While we name them trifles, we have deprived ourselves of the defense of our dedication. But since you, LL, have been pleased to think these trifles something, therefore have been persecuted both them and their author living with so much favour, we hope that they outliving him, he not to his own writing, not having the fate common with some to executor to his own writing, you will use the like indulgence toward them you have done unto their parent. There's great difference whether any book chose. There's great difference whether any book chose his patrons to find them had done both them. For the most, there were LL likings of the several parts We reacted as we before we were published. The volume asked to be yours. We had but collected them, done an office to the dead to procure his orphans guardians without ambition, either of self-profit or fame, only keep the memory too worthy of a friend and fellow alive as our Shakespeare, by humble offer of his plays to your most noble patronage, wherein, as we have your most noble, which be observed to no man come near your LL, but kind religious address, it had been the height of our care. You are the presenters to make the present worthy of your HH by the perfection. But there we must also crave our abilities to be considered, my lords. Cannot go beyond our own powers. Country hands reach forth milk, cream, fruits, or what they have, and many nations we have heard, if not gums to incense, obtain the request, leaven cake. It's no fault to approach their gods by what means they could. By the most though meanest of things were made more precious when they were dedicated to temples. Your name, therefore, we most humbly consecrate to your HH, those remains of your servant Shakespeare.